There are growing calls for the federal government to step in and end a week-long labor dispute at Canada Post. The Canadian Federation of Independent Business is pushing for back-to-work legislation. 55,000 postal workers are on strike as the two sides continue to try to work out a deal. Wages and job security are key sticking points in the talks. Jon Hamilton from Canada Post joins us now. Jon, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me on.
Okay, so let's get right into it. Parcel delivery on weekends has been a point of contention in this strike. For those who don't know, explain why this is being disputed and what your solution is.
Sure, I think Canadians hear that and think, well, aren't parcels all delivered on weekends now anyway? And the reality is they are, but not by Canada Post. We don't have a model that allows us the flexibility to provide that in a cost-effective way. Our delivery model was built for a Monday to Friday mail delivery. But obviously that world has changed and we want to be more competitive in the business because people want to order things on a Friday, get them on a Saturday or Sunday. And we're looking at a model that would add new jobs, but would increase more part-time jobs to add that weekend delivery on top of the regular workforce that we have today. That is obviously large and it's a labor-intensive business. And we want to continue to grow our parcel business, and this is one of the quickest ways so that we can be in the game with our competitors.
Okay, and what has been the reaction from employees to this idea?
We've been talking with the union on that, and obviously employees want to grow the business. There's only growth in one place in delivery business, and that is in parcels. And we've done well. We used to deliver 2/3 of the parcels in Canada, but with the weekend delivery model, that means we have to pay people double time. It's just not feasible. So, the employees obviously want to help grow the business. With the union, their reaction has been more, we need it to all be full time or more full time, which just adds more fixed cost to our organization. So we're looking at a mix of full and part time, but our labor costs went up by $242 million in 2023 over 2022. It's 70% of our revenue. So it's a labor-intensive business. We provide good-paying jobs. Most, 2/3 of our employees make $30 an hour or more, and we want to enhance that. But there's only so far we can go.
Okay. Now, speaking of dollars and cents, Canada Post is reporting a huge $315 million loss before tax in the third quarter of 2024. Do you think this is a good time to be asking for more?
Well, obviously, we want to continue to ensure that we have good paying jobs for our people, but there's only so far we can go. Mail has been declining for 20 years, and our parcel business has been going in that same direction the last few years. So we need to grow the business. We want to continue to move forward, but adding more fixed costs to the postal system is only going to put us out of the competitive game and mean that we're going to shrink further. So we want to continue to grow. We think we can do that, but we need to look at where the future is going and work on that together.
Now, do you feel like you're getting any closer to a resolution, or is it time for the federal government to intervene?
We're still committed to negotiating a deal. We're at the table throughout the weekend. We have made some progress. There has not yet been a major breakthrough, though, and talks and movement has been slow. Obviously, we want to see that speed up because we're now into week 2 of the postal system being shut down, and the impact. There's a huge impact on Canada Post, but more importantly, there's a huge impact on Canadians, on small businesses, on charities, and so many others in remote northern communities that have not had the postal service and have either gone to the competition or been left behind for the last 9 days.
Okay, and at what point do you think you might want the government to intervene? How long can this go on?
That's up to the government. We want to continue to negotiate an agreement because we're looking at the future. We want to grow this business together, and the best way to do that is for us to both agree, the union and Canada Post, on a path forward. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to get there yet, and adding more fixed costs over the long term, where our labor costs have already been going up, we need to find a way that makes sense and allows us to grow the business. So maybe we can look at things down the road, but for now, there's only so far we can go.
Okay, let's talk about disruptions. Global News has spoken to charities and small businesses who say this is a crucial time of year for their mail deliveries. We spoke to the Canada Post National Union president last week and asked about this. Here's what she had to say.
The same way how workers kept your products moving during COVID, we want to keep your products moving again. So we're looking forward to negotiating contracts and getting things back to normal. And we thank you for the really important work you do. But postal workers also do important work. Taxpayers do not pay our salaries. We're actually taxpayers within the community. So those dollars are being missed as well while we're on strike.
So what would you say to that?
I'd say we've been negotiating for a year, and customers have been watching this very closely. And yes, it's the union is well within their legal rights to strike. That's their choice. But a full national strike is something they haven't done in a long time, has come as a surprise to a lot of customers, and is having huge impact. So CUPW decided to shut down the postal system, and what you're seeing is it is more relevant than probably most people thought, but it's having a huge impact on a lot of people. So we're negotiating, but there's only so far we can go. 2/3 of our regular employees, full-time and part-time, make over $30 an hour. We've offered over 11.5% protect their defined benefit pension and their job security. We believe we put a fair offer on the table and continue to talk that way with a proposal to grow our parcel business. But the union still has a long list of demand, and it's making it really difficult to try and find that common ground.
Okay, and Jen Simpson also pointed out the hard work our postal workers do. She mentioned they worked through the pandemic. What do you want to say to the postal workers who are on the picket lines right now?
Our workers do a great job. We have, over the years with CUPW, negotiated terms and conditions that ensures that they have good paying jobs, and they are in there right across the community. So, you know, what we have and what employees have today with their wages, with their benefits, with up to 7 weeks vacation and the pension and all of that, that has come from the two of us working together and finding a path and rewarding our employees for the hard work they do. We're just looking at the next few years saying what makes the most sense and what can we afford, and we need to come to that common ground together. Unfortunately, what we've seen is more fixed costs and no flexibility for us to be more competitive in that parcel business that is moving at lightning speed, and we are moving at a very slow speed.
Jon, thank you so much for your time today. That's Jon Hamilton from Canada Post with the latest on the nationwide strike.